swim so free. Heaven above and the sea below, and a little white whale on the go. 2, 3, 4. Baby beluga.
Capitol Hill to work out a compromise health care plan. He lost his voice after his State of the Union speech. A roof collapsed at a supermarket in France.
Soccer bopper, more fun than a pillow fight. Blow 'em up. Fresh out the box. Stop, look and watch. Ready yet? Get set. It's all.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled programming for a Channel 3 special report.
Good evening. I'm David Barrows. Jonathan Shaw is on assignment. We apologize for our earlier coverage of the so-called Madison race riots. Reports coming in now indicate the violence is neither racially motivated nor restricted to the greater Madison area. What is certain is that this seemingly unexplainable mass hysteria continues to spread throughout the heartland, with injuries reported to be in the thousands. We now go live to Catherine Lanphier at St. Augustine Memorial Hospital. Catherine?
David, the staff here says they haven't seen anything close to the sheer volume of casualties. Badly injured, very frightened people are pouring in, no exaggeration, by the hundreds. And we're told that most of the injuries are bites, not gunshot or stab wounds, as we were led to believe earlier. Just a few minutes ago, we spoke with one of the doctors that has been on call since this morning when the patients arrived.
We have seen cases of complete digit finger extraction, deep throat laceration, even a large section of flesh torn away as if by a rabid dog or wild animal.
We've been told by nurses there have been complications.
Almost all wounds have shown immediate infection. Many have went into toxic shock. One patient...
Have there been fatalities?
Excuse me, please. I'm sorry, I have to go.
I was coming home from work, and I saw this woman in the road, and she was moaning or something, so I went out to go see. I thought she got hit by a car or something like that, and I went to go reach out to help her, and she bit me in the arm, scratched up my face, and I just took off. And
doctors are still at a loss as to the reason behind these attacks, and the situation doesn't seem to be improving. In the past few minutes, I've seen 4 ambulances and several cars pull up with victims seeking emergency care. Whatever's going on, it seems to be far from over. David?
Just being informed that both Istanbul and New Delhi are reporting sporadic outbreaks of violence, similar to those here at home. And clearly, this is no longer an American... We're just getting a picture from our BBC correspondent. Over to Trevor Hanna in London. Trevor?
We're in Notting Hill, a part of London. Who knows if this report will ever be transmitted? Communication is at best limited. The city, it seems, is being overrun with man-eating creatures. And...
They're coming!
Run!
Run!
Like most stations, we're experiencing technical problems with our satellite connection, but we'll try and follow this situation and bring you up-to-date information from the other side of the globe as it comes.
Point the camera at me. Point it at me. Just roll. Okay, things are out of control down below. The city of Los Angeles is like a war zone. These creatures, these zombies or whatever the hell they are swarming the city. People are dying in the streets by the thousands. And the freeways, right now the freeways are hopelessly clogged. There is no way out of the city. We had to come up here into the Hollywood Hills just to find some refuge. I think we're safe for the moment, but I'm not going to stay long. Right now, the LAPD has pulled out of South Central Los Angeles entirely and is trying to form a defensive perimeter around Beverly Hills. But I don't know how they're going to stop these things. If you're hearing me, stay away from Los Angeles. The city is out of control. The city is lost. Avoid Los Angeles at all costs.
I'm sorry, we had to cut away. We need to go now live to the White House press room for an emergency military briefing.
A state of emergency has been declared in the United States of America. including all overseas dependencies and the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. For reasons yet to be determined, the bodies of the recently deceased are returning to life and attacking the living. The scope of this epidemic is now reaching global proportions. The President has sent to Congress a package of initiatives which will be explained by the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Martin Emery. Mr. Secretary.
As of 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the President has declared the continental United States under martial law. A nationwide curfew of 7 p.m. tonight has been put into effect, and any citizen caught outdoors between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. is subject to arrest and detention without counsel. All reserve military personnel and National Guard are ordered to report for immediate deployment. All law enforcement, firefighting, and emergency personnel will be federalized effective immediately. All communications facilities, including the use of landline and cellular telephone facilities, will be reserved for military and rescue operations. In order to halt the spread of this contagion, our nation's borders to Canada and Mexico have been sealed. No longer seek shelter in private residences, no matter how safely protected or well-stocked. Retain all ownership records of private property, but do not attempt to transport or defend said property. Rest assured, looters will be prosecuted with deadly force, as will any attempts at vigilantism or secessionist political activity. No questions.
That was the Secretary of Defense with the announcement that the dead are somehow coming back to life.
So they are dead?
Yes, in that the circulatory, respiratory, and other vital functions have terminated, these subjects are technically deceased. Please just let me get through this and then I'll take questions.
What are you talking about? How can they be cannibals?
The infection is spread through direct fluidic contact. It must enter through the bloodstream through an open wound. Infection duration depends on the size of the wound and its proximity to a major blood vessel. Reanimation will occur no later than 1 to 5 minutes after the victim's primary life functions have expired. Once reanimation has occurred, the subject will respond with immediate homicidal aggression.
Current estimate in the U.S. puts the number of dead at over 10 million. But this is, many would consider, a wildly conservative estimate. Regarding the entire world, I can't even begin to give you a number. Lucas, are we on? We're on.
Yeah, we're still on.
It's been confirmed from several sources that the destruction of Shanghai and Hong Kong were the result of thermonuclear explosions. Whether set by the Chinese government, a rogue faction of the Chinese military, or the Russian government in their promise to aggressively defend their borders is still not and may never be known. Within the next hour, we will be transferring responsibilities to the emergency broadcast system.
Civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living. Follow the messages on screen that will be updated as information becomes available. Do not attempt to approach or apprehend these bodies as they are considered extremely dangerous.